In Arc Raiders, not everyone wants to PvP in order to just get their hands on a little bit of that sweet, sweet goop. That's why today I'm bringing you my ultimate low-risk loot route for Spaceport. This route is amazing for blueprints, weapons, crafting materials, or even sellable trinkets, and it's really just up to you to decide what you want to keep. I've included a chapter towards the end of the video where the route is outlined on a map of Spaceport for those of you that are interested, and without further ado, let's hop into the raid. Alrighty, looks like we spawned bottom left by fuel processing, and our first stop is going to be this little tower over here to the right of the fuel lines, so I'll catch you guys when we're there. Now, I did forget there is a weapon cache spawn right here. Should be throwing a map up on your screen right about now. And usually we'll loot this after we loot the tower, but it was kind of just on our way given our spawn. So we went ahead and grabbed it, got an arpeggio, nothing super special, just broke that down for some simple gun parts. And we're going to continue to make our way over to the tower. And now that we're at the official start of the loot route here at the tower, I do just want to quickly clarify that I've done this route many times during both day and night raids, and the only significant difference I've noticed as far as the loot is concerned is that during night raids you're going to have a higher chance of getting pink weapons. In theory, you should get, oh look at that, got a renegade, some complex gun parts, heavy fusion aid, never hurts. Back to what I was saying though, in theory you should have a higher chance at blueprint drop rates on both night and storm raids. But in my experience, I just haven't really noticed it. Like here, we just got an anvil blueprint. Also, there's a weapon cache spawn right there on ping. Unfortunately, it didn't spawn this run, but you're never going to have all of them spawn, so it's no big deal. But ultimately, like I was saying, I haven't really noticed a significant difference for the blueprints, even though supposedly there should be. There's also no major difference for crafting materials and sellable trinkets. So it really just comes down to the pink weapons. If you care about pink weapons, you'd want to run this at night. If not, I think you're better off just running it during the day, but to each their own. That is just kind of my personal experience with it so far. With all that being said, we're going to go and get back to the route. At this point, we've looted the tower, we looted that weapon cache right over there in the little pipe, and now we're going to head over to the southwest entrance of Departure Building. Just got to take care of that snitch really quick, and yeah, let's go ahead and keep it moving. Now, for the most part, this route is super safe, especially in relativity compared to most things, but this is one of the spots where it can get a little bit sketchy. In particular, this breachable room that we're about to run up to. A lot of people are aware of it because it just has absolutely amazing loot. I'm actually going to hop down here, clear this out because people will legit camp down here. There's also a medical bag that can spawn right there on ping. Also didn't spawn this run, but like I said, it's no big deal. You're never going to get them all to spawn. Long story short, though, this room just has unbelievably good loot, so I would personally never pass it up. But if you're strictly trying to avoid all PvP, then you should just skip it. But all you need to do is just bring in the jolt mine, place it on the wall right here or on this side, either or. I'd recommend the wall instead of the ceiling because it makes it easier to pick it up. And yeah, I actually like to leave the door open because it kind of just convinces people that it's safe. They just run right into the jolt mine. Right there, we already got 2 blue trinkets from the first locker. Just goes to show how insane this room is. We got a security breach. We got a Trente, heavy gun parts, wolf pack even, super nice. And we'll just keep looting up. Lance's mixtape, bada bing. We've already made like 20,000 coins in this room from just these 3 lockers, which is crazy. Alright, that one was kind of poop. And there's a weapon cache that can spawn right back there in the last little bathroom stall. Didn't spawn, but, you know, it is what it is. We're gonna go ahead and keep moving, pick up our jolt mine really quick so we can reuse this later. And I did hear some explosions over here, so we might run into some people. When it comes to this building, generally speaking, the first and second floor both have insane loot, but you're never going to have enough inventory space to loot it all. So I just kind of skip the first floor and go up to the second floor because there's a weapon cache up here.
Hey, yo.
Yo.
Do you know where the examination room is?
I do not, I'm gonna be honest. Sorry, brother.
I'll find it. I got good intuition.
Okay, good luck, my man. Alrighty, that guy was pretty chill. Right here in this cubby, there's medical bag spawn, ammo crate spawn, and a weapon cache spawn, all in that same area. That time it was just the ammo crate. But yeah, like I said, this area has insane loot. I'll hit a couple containers just to show you guys. I mean, somebody threw an anvil in this drawer, I guess. Like, not a player, but, you know, hypothetically an NPC, so to speak. Somebody who used to live here, I suppose. But yeah, mainly this area is really good for crafting materials and sellable trinkets. You're not usually going to find a lot of weapons, like I just found that anvil. That's pretty uncommon in my experience. But crazy for crafting materials, crazy for sellable trinkets. I'll keep hitting a few more just to kind of show you guys. But even the second floor, generally I'll kind of skip it just because you just don't have enough inventory space. But like I said in the intro, it's really up to you on what you need. Like if you're coming in and you're trying to make coins, specifically if you're trying to make coins, I would skip this. I would just hit that first breachable room that I already did. We're going to hit some lockers later, which are also super good for trinkets. Pretty much those two areas together will like fill your inventory with trinkets and sellables. You can maybe hit a couple extra containers here and there, like some filing cabinets and stuff to like fill out the rest of your inventory. On the flip side though, if you're trying to get crafting materials, the first and second floor here are amazing. Like you're going to find a ton. So it's really up to you. And then obviously if all you care about is weapons, which, you know, to each their own, if that's all you care about, then you should really just be focusing on the weapon cache spawns and the security lockers. That's where you're going to find the majority of them. And
oh, nice. That was sick.
Thank you. Another chill dude. Yeah, people are pretty friendly still. I'm not gonna lie, people have gotten more like shoot on sight over the last 5 to 6 days, but you still run into a lot of friendly people in solos. Anyways, though, in this house right here, there's gonna be 2 security breaches, 100% spawn rate. And one nice thing about doing this on Spaceport, as opposed to like Dam or Bird City or anything like that, or really Spaceport and above difficulty maps, is you actually find a lot of blue weapons in the security breaches and weapon caches, as opposed to finding like a bunch of greens like you do on Dam and Bird City. Here we go, just found a Torrente. So now we found a Renegade, Torrente, actually 2 Torrentes already, and all 3 of those were from security breaches. So security breaches are actually still decent. Obviously, you used to get mainly pink weapons, but I mean, at the end of the day, blue weapons are damn near just as good as pink weapons right now until they actually do a little bit more balancing. Here we go, another Renegade. I mean, Renegade and Torrente are both insanely good weapons right now, especially after the Venator nerf. They're some of the best weapons in the game. Keep going, got a couple cabinets in here to loot real quick. And somehow a Torrente fits in a filing cabinet. Sure, I'm not gonna ask. I'll just go ahead and happily take it. Alright, nothing good in that one. Go ahead and pick up our jolt mine again and keep on moving. Now, after looting these 2, we're gonna quickly make our way over to this tower. This is like a sketchy little open area run that you gotta make. Unfortunately, we're already fat as shit, looking like Big Chungus, over encumbered. But we skedaddled on over, take the zip up. And there's a turret. I'm gonna redo this. Not trying to lose any shield for this. There we go. Another security breach. And just in general, these towers all have 100% security breach spawns, so hitting all of them is good. And then they also all have a weapon cache spawn, or an ammo crate spawn, or a medical bag spawn. It'll be one of the 3 or none of them. They always spawn in the same spot. Like the weapon caches will always be in the same spot, the medical bag will always be in the same spot. The ammo crate can be shifted around, but it doesn't really matter too much. I don't really care too much about ammo crates, although I have found the occasional blueprint in them, but it's really rare. And now we've got a little nifty shortcut. Let's go ahead and jump across right here. If you're encumbered, you have to vault. If you're not over encumbered, then you're not gonna have to vault. You can just like land flat on the little windowsill thing. And this is perfect because it puts you right at the spot that we want to loot, or right at the starting point of this building. It's this breach room, or breachable room. This has great loot as well. There's a weapon cache spawn in here. It's going to be right into our right. And we actually have no inventory space already. We're going to go and set up our jolt mine, of course. And yeah, the weapon cache can spawn on these little tables, but it didn't spawn. And I'd say this is probably a bit unlucky. By now, I usually would have found maybe 1 to 2 weapon caches, but truthfully, the weapon caches are just not a significant part of this run. I mean, obviously they never hurt, but we haven't gotten a single one, and we've already got 5 blue weapons, an anvil blueprint, a completely full inventory, 140,000 coins worth of value. So, you know, the run is insane, even if you get really unlucky with the weapon cache spawns. And ultimately, I'm just trying to show you guys like a realistic run. You know, I had a couple people comment on the last loot route video saying, why didn't you just re-record when more of the weapon caches spawned? And at the end of the day, it's just a double-edged sword. You know, if I post my best run ever in the video, people are going to say this is unrealistic, my run wasn't as good, this is a scam, yada yada. If I post like a bad run, it'll look like it's shit. So, you know, I'm just trying to post like an average, realistic run. And I'd say this is definitely a pretty average run. You know, my security breach is maybe a little lucky so far, but not by much. But either way, after that breach room, it's totally up to you. You can hit every cabinet in this building if you want. They all have great loot, but I will usually run straight over here. There are these 6 little possible cabinet spawns right here. I've actually seen all 6 of them be lootable multiple times. This time it's 5. But I'll come over here and I'll just hit these super quick, and then I'll just leave everything else because, as you can clearly see, my inventory is already super full. Now, I'm definitely hearing somebody in the buildings, so we might have to adapt the route just a little bit. Yeah, definitely somebody there. Just heard a shot. Not to mention, I completely forgot my Raider hatch key this run. I was just running night raids, so that's kind of a goofy move by me, but hey, that's part of the game, part of the fun. We're going to have to improvise just a little bit. Now, usually, there's a weapon cache spawn that can be right down there on ping. Usually what I would do here is I would drop down the zip, check the weapon cache, and then right out of the zip room, like you cannot miss it, there are lockers that will spawn there. So I'd drop down, check for the weapon cache, and then I would hit the lockers. And then I would come right back up, and I would come here to this window seal. You can squeeze right out. Just kind of peeking to make sure that guy's not right out here about to bot me. But then hug the wall, jump here, and then you can grab onto the ladder. Go all the way up to the roof, and there's a weapon cache / medical bag spawn up here. Surely this weapon cache spawned, right? Let's see. No. Oh, wait, yeah, no. Okay, it did spawn, but it's already been looted. Yeah, alright. Nice. Oh. Hello? Yeah, I get the feeling that guy is not friendly, if I'm being honest. I heard shots over here a little bit ago, so...
Hey, don't shoot.
Yeah, I think I'm going to adapt my plan. And I mean, this is kind of what I was talking about with being realistic. Like, as much as, you know, someone might tell you that their route is going to completely avoid PvP and you'll never encounter another player, I mean, that's definitely just not true. Like, every run is going to be different, and this game is super unpredictable. So, at this point, usually, you would hug the wall, or not hug the wall, you would run along the wall, you would go into that tower, hit the security breach, hit the weapon cache if it's there. There's actually another building. I'll throw up a map on screen. There's another building right to the side that has a security breach as well that you could hit. And then after that, you just run on the wall all the way to the edge of the map, and you would hit the raider hatch. And yeah, hopefully I put some footage up on screen or something that kind of like shows you guys what I was just talking about, so it's not just me rambling with you guys having no idea what I'm saying. I've done it plenty of times. I'm sure I've got a recording somewhere, so I'll just throw that up on screen hopefully. Like I said before though, don't have a raider catch key this run. I was definitely just doing some night raids, so I just forgot it on accident, but we're gonna improvise. It's no problem. I'll actually take you guys over here, show you some extra little weapon cache spawns, which usually I wouldn't never hit these, but if you're doing it on night raids and you're looking for pink weapons, then I would. So I'll just go ahead and show you guys real quick. They're underground over here. Got a hornet to deal with real quick. As I said though, usually wouldn't do these on daytime runs, only nighttime. Obviously, don't be like me. Don't forget your hatch key. Also, there's the medical bag spawn and ammo crate. The weapon cache can spawn in the same spot as the medical bag, so it's like one or the other. Hello?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good, and you?
I'm fine. I'm just I had to do a quest down here.
Okay. Alrighty. I'm just gonna head this way. Alrighty, take it easy. Good luck, my man.
Yeah, up that stairwell to the right. There was a guy shooting at me, just so you know.
Okay, sounds good.
He was sniping from the tower.
Another chill fella. Nice to see it. And yeah, the other weapon cache can be right here on those like little computers or that desk or whatever you want to call it. Neither of them spawned, but the medical bag did spawn in place of the other one, but it was already looted, so no big deal with that. Our inventory is already full anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And I think now I'm actually going to go back to a rival building because that guy from before is probably gone. So I'll just kind of show you guys how I would usually do the route with jumping down the zip, hitting the lockers and stuff like that. So I'll see you when we get there. Alrighty, here we are back at a rival building. The lockers that I was talking about from before, they're going to be right over here. There's also a big medical bay area right there to the right, which has good loot or like decent loot. But here are the lockers. I'll actually go back up the zip real quick just to try and kind of explain where we're at. So on the opposite side is the breachable room. That's where we took the shortcut, like jumped through the window to get in here. Hit that breach room. Then you hit those cabinets. Then you come to the zip down, check for the weapon cache. And then you hit these lockers. And these lockers, just like many other lockers in the game, absolutely goated when it comes to sellable trinkets. You can find blueprints a lot of times in lockers like this. They're really just like a jack of all trades container. Like they can pretty much have anything and everything, but in particular, they do seem to have a higher density or a higher chance of containing trinkets, blueprints, and kind of just valuable items compared to most containers in the game. Yeah, we'll just loot up the rest of these. We're kind of min-maxing at this point with our inventory. Ooh, found a little snow globe and statuette in the same locker. That's pretty nice. I have to drop some stuff for it. Drop the antiseptic. Yeah, we'll just actually... Yeah, we've got a lot of duct tape already in our stash, so we'll just try and up the coin value at this point. Yeah, sometimes there'll be some cabinets over here you can loot. And if you want to, you can also come loot this medical area. It actually has, not only does it have a lot of medical loot, but it also has a bunch of cabinets, which same thing here. You can find sellable trinkets in the cabinets, blueprints, attachments even, especially these little white pull-out cabinets. I'll point it out. There's going to be some more here in just a second, but you can find ground loot all over the place. So I'm just checking for that. Lab regents, don't need those. These blue drawers are pretty decent. Not like super spectacular, but we got a blue trinket there. Never hurts. It's 2,000 coins. Maybe 3,000 actually, I can't remember. It's one of the two. And then yeah, like these white cabinets actually have pretty high chance of attachments. I found 2 kinetic converters in white cabinets just like this, so definitely don't sleep on those. Even though they're in a medical area, doesn't matter, they can still have attachments. And then yeah, from here, usually you would go back up the zip, go out the window, and that's where you would then stay on top of the wall, hit the tower, and then keep going on the wall, and you'd make your way all the way to the raider hatch up in the top left corner of the map. But since we don't have a raider hatch key, we're gonna have to keep moving. There's a weapon cache that spawns through that breach door, but it's probably not worth even looking for because the breach just makes so much noise, and the only thing worth looting in there really is the weapon cache, but it doesn't have like a 100% chance to spawn, so honestly I wouldn't even do it. And at this point, yeah, we just kind of got to boot and scoot and boogie to the extract, so I'll probably speed up the rest of the video here, or speed up the rest of this raid here, so we can just get to the end screen, show you guys the total haul, and then I'll show you guys the overview of the map route with an actual like spaceport map, and have everything outlined nice and clear. And here we are at the extract. Go ahead and call this in. Boom, just like that. Super successful raid. Didn't have any PvP encounters. We avoided one, but that's how it goes. You got to use your brain every once in a while. And here's the haul. 160,000 coins worth of value, 5 blue weapons, anvil blueprint, 3 wolf packs, like 15 to 16 simple gun parts if you count the little broken revolver at the top right. All in all, super duper solid run. Nothing like out of the ordinary for this route. If I recall, we didn't get a single weapon cache, so it's definitely actually a bit unlucky, all things considered. But yeah, I mean, the route is just amazing. So let's go ahead and hop over to the actual map, like the overview of the route, so I can just give you guys a clear picture, make it nice and easy for you. Here we are with the overview of the loot route, so this is going to make it really easy to understand and like clear to follow. One thing I want to quickly point out is the match you just saw, we obviously spawned here, and generally speaking, if you spawn anywhere in like this giant section of the map, I would always recommend coming to either this weapon cache or this tower first, and then doing the route in this direction, ending up at the raider hatch in the top left corner of the map. Alternatively, if you spawn anywhere on like this section of the map, feel free to do the route in reverse, starting with the optional security breach here, then hitting arrival building, coming back down through departure, and then hitting everything. And then you can either end at this regular extract, this hatch, or this hatch. Keep in mind, this hatch is underground, and this one's above ground. This one's kind of sketchy because people can sit on these buildings, and this one's kind of sketchy because people will extract camp in the tunnel. Although people don't usually extract camp hatches, but sometimes they do. So that's just something to keep in mind. This hatch is extremely safe because it's just like in the top corner of the map. Nobody's ever camping this, or I've never been camped at this. After this video comes out, if this video gains traction, you might want to be a little bit cautious. Maybe people will take note and start camping it, but I kind of doubt it. With that being said, the blue dots, as you can see with the little legend up here, the blue dots are the weapon cache spawns, like the ones that, you know, we're actually concerned about. This is the one in the little tube, like the Mario tube. This is the one in the tower. This is the one in the breach room and departure. This is the one in the little cubby. Here's optional security breaches. This is the double spawn in the building. I would usually hit this. Here's another tower with security and weapon cache. Weapon cache in the breach room. Weapon cache on the roof. Weapon cache at the bottom of the zip, and then the last little optional security breach. This is just a single spawn in this building, but I would usually still hit it if I'm actually coming to this raider hatch. You know, you might as well, unless obviously you think there are people around, then I would just stay on the wall and just go all the way up the wall, and then you drop down right around here. You can like use these to dodge roll down, or you can just come all the way up here and it like evens out with the wall. And then you just run down, hit the raider hatch, good to go, queue it back up, run it again, get another 100k plus coins, get tons of crafting materials, trinkets, blueprints, attachments, etc. You know, obviously, if you've already got everything you need, there's no point in doing a loot route, but I know there are plenty of people that are like still playing the game for the first time this weekend. The game just keeps peaking on its player count, so there's obviously new players that are hopping into the game, and this is an amazing loot route if you're just getting started. You can max out your stash extremely quickly. You do this for like a couple hours, you can instantly max out your stash, and it's going to be a good time. Or after you do your expedition project, which is coming up in a few weeks, this will once again be an amazing loot route. Hit this a few times, get your 600,000 credits, max out your stash, and you are good to go. I did also have quite a few people from the previous loot route video asking me about what blueprints in specific I'd gotten from that route, so I thought I would quickly add a section for that here in this video. As you can see, here's all the blueprints that I have, and now I can't remember specifically which ones I got for like the first time and learned them from this route, but what I can say as far as ones that I've gotten, whether it was the first time or a duplicate, this or that, I don't know, but ones that I have gotten from this route would be Vertical Grip 3, Showstopper, obviously I got the Anvil in this previous run that you saw, I've gotten Angled Grip, and I'm sure I've gotten like El Toro, Batina, like I've probably gotten almost all of the guns, like Anvil, Osprey, Venator, El Toro, Batina. I don't think I've gotten Torrente, to be fair. And I think I've also got, I got Light Mag 3 from this route as well. Obviously, it's kind of hard for me to remember for sure because I've played the game quite a lot at this point, and I've gotten like a bunch of these duplicates in different routes, etc., etc. But all the ones I just mentioned, the only one I'm like not 100% sure on is the Light Mag, but I do think I got it from this route. I can't remember where else I would have gotten it from, so take that one with a grain of salt, but all the other ones I've definitely gotten. I've also gotten all 3 of the gun part blueprints from this route, 100%. I know that for sure. And yeah, I've probably even gotten other ones, like the really common duplicates I'm sure I've gotten. But yeah, hopefully that kind of answers that question. As soon as I find like some of the more rare blueprints that basically no one has been able to find so far, like the Tempest, the Looting MK3 Survivor, like I know some people have found those, but it's extremely uncommon so far. But as soon as I am able to find those, I'm gonna, obviously make content for that. But yeah, hopefully this kind of answers that question for anybody that was curious. And with all that being said, that is going to conclude the video. As always, I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, like, share it with your friends. It all means a lot, particularly subscribing, coming back to watch future content. I plan to be making Arc Raiders content for the foreseeable future, of course. And I appreciate the support that you guys have given me so far. It means a lot. And take it easy, fellas.